Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, we carry out a large adoption survey for one of our customers. We head to the pub where we've got a lining job that we're discussing, and we trace an abandoned drain that nobody knows where it goes. Let's roll the footage. What is happening, team JCD? It is Monday morning. We are back down at a large survey project that we were doing in Deal in Kent a couple of episodes ago. If you guys remember, I come here, the mains was blocked. Well, we turned up, it's blocked again. But I've got a colleague of ours, Ben from Blue House Drainage. Thank you for coming to help out with this one, mate. Because these manholes have no steps to them. So what that means is we've had to get a crawler system which can be operated from up top, which is a bit of an inconvenience because I don't have one. So that's why Ben is here, because he has all the kit to do so. So we're surveying the drains at the moment. As I say, when we arrived, it was blocked. We've cleared that blockage. And now Ben has got the crawler down there just to see what is going on. Now, there's lots of debris in the line, and there's lots of what we call in the industry displacement, and that's effectively where a pipe moves up or down. Now, the tolerance we usually say is if you can see the thickness of the pipe, which is usually about 10 mil in this case, then you've got a bit of an issue, and that seems to be the case in some of these areas. But the good thing with a crawler is you haven't got to keep going manhole to manhole. We've just got 200 metre reach. So we've gone effectively from the top of the road and we're surveying it all the way to the bottom, which helps us save time. The weather is terrible today. I'm not sure you guys can see this. It's raining, pissing down the rain in England, excuse the language. So yeah, here all day surveying today, trying to get this job sort of off the table. We've been dipping in and out of here, as you guys have seen. We just want to make sure it's all done. So hopefully we're going to get a majority of this done today. We might need a little bit back here tomorrow, but let's jump in and see how we're getting on with this survey. Laziness. Here's a surprise on a building site. Down she goes.
Twisted. And she goes.
Mark anything you think needs marking? So we're about halfway through the day now. We've done an entire road, done all the mains. We're just onto the second road. But look, this is what I needed last time. So this effectively can be operated from a van, whereas previously we were trying to push the camera through, but the manholes are so deep that we just couldn't get the leverage on it. So we've got a crawler here which attaches up to the machine, and then it gets pushed, it crawls through manually, which is what we needed on this job. A little bit of an extra expense for the customer, but unfortunately it's needed. We found some defects in the line, not loads, but certainly ones that are severe enough to need attention, so we'll make a recommendation on that. But we've got a few more bits to do here, so we're going to crack on and get going and get the rest of this finished.
Good?
Yes, mate. Done.
How bad is it?
So, the second half of this road, so like, it's not so bad at the top, but halfway down there's lots of displacements. Yeah, which is cool, because you'll say this is all blacked up again. So, that's going to need some work. This one isn't that bad, to be fair. Everything at the back is fucked. So the time is now around 3:30. We have finished surveying all the lines that the customer asked us to survey, so that's all done now. There's some remedial works that's going to need to be done. There are some major displacements in some of the lines. The main was blocked here. That's the fourth time that I've had to unblock this particular mains. So yeah, we'll send the report to the customer. It was useful having the crawler down there. That was much better. Really helped out. So this is all done now. That's going to wrap up Monday. I am not sure. I've got a bit of a higgle-piggledy week, to be honest. Not much diarised, but I haven't got to be here tomorrow now, which is good. I did block out a couple of days. So I'll probably try and tie that up with Adam. We'll get some content done down the office, catch up on emails, bits and pieces. I'm a little bit behind with that because I have been out and about quite a lot. But I'm pleased to get this one off. So we'll get all the reports typed up between me and Ben. And then we'll get that sent off. So thank you again to Ben at Blue House Drainage. If you guys are in need of lining, Blue House Drainage, they're your guys. That's why I brought him along here, because otherwise I have to survey it and then he'll come back and survey it just to make sure everything's all right and measure it. So it's best just to do it a two-pronged approach, which we have done today. And plus you get it done quicker. Many hands make light work, as they say. So that wraps up Monday. I'm heading home now, not much on this afternoon, and I'm pleased to say I haven't got to go and cover any contracts, which I'm really pleased about. Only Wednesday, we've got to do that this week. So that wraps up Monday, guys. As always, I will see you tomorrow. It is Tuesday morning. It is mid-morning now, but don't worry, I was still up and about nice and early. I am down, as you can see, at JCD HQ. I've got a little bit of a quiet week this week, to be honest. The boys were obviously doing the large warehouse clean last week, which I actually had a catch up with the customer about yesterday, and we got some good feedback. There were a couple of little bits and pieces that he would have liked to have seen done. But this was sort of a trial for a bigger piece of work there, because we'd done the big warehouse spacing. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back on our channel, like and subscribe while you're there, and check out our standalone video for that warehouse clean we've just done. The client was overall happy. It was a big space, but off that main warehouse, I think there's 7 smaller cold stores which we're going to be cleaning after the successful visit we done in the last one. There was a couple of little bits of feedback that the client had, but to be fair to the customer there, he's a really reasonable guy. You know, cleaning is very subjective. So what one person thinks clean, another person may not accept or think is really clean. And there's lots of variables when you're dealing with customers. So you sort of have to factor that in. And this particular customer, Mike, he's been very understanding, very fair, which is all you can ask from customers, because we had to delay that project in the summer because we were just too busy and just couldn't pull the staff together, if I'm honest. And he was quite understanding. Some clients would just sort of boot you out the door. So that project went really well. So well done to the guys with that one. And then we've got some other bits and pieces now off the back of that we'll be doing. And we'll obviously factor in the feedback that Mike gave us into that. I've had an interesting call this morning with a colleague of mine, Scott, about a large drainage tender that we are doing. So what we will be doing with this particular tender is the proactive and reactive maintenance of a load of retail stores nationally. Well-known brands that if I mentioned on the channel, everyone would know, probably would have been used this store. So that's a really interesting project. That could change the whole landscape of our drainage division. And sometimes in business, it just takes that one thing. I remember when we first started JCD, it was just pure, I guess, I don't like to say luck, but you know, right place, right time. Within 1 year of starting JCD, we landed a large 6-figure contract that we still have to this day. And it just changes the whole dynamic, because I remember landing that contract, and I was actually working for a large FM company at the time, and we landed that contract, and then that afforded me, Don, James, to all be able to shift over to working for JCD full time, and here we are 7 years later. So the drainage is starting to pick up a good pace at the moment. That just shows with a little bit of dedication, and your focus on one thing, it will pick up. So I'm really pleased with that, how that's going. As I say, I've got a little bit of a quiet week this week. So today I'll come down the office, catch up on some emails. I've actually washed all 3 vans out the front, trying to use it productively, make sure the vans are looking nice and fresh at first impression. I am going to catch up on some emails now. It's around 11:30. I'll probably stay in the office till around 3:30 and then go and pick up my eldest daughter at school. Tomorrow I have got Adam joining me at HQ. We are going to finish off some of our bits and pieces for the ad that you have seen us filming over the last couple of weeks. We're going to put them down and get that put to bed. We've also got to go back to one of our schools because Adam wasn't happy with how the shot come out, and of course he is right to do so because we want this ad right. The rest of the week is fairly open at the moment. I'm sure some bits and pieces will come in. At JCD, we're still waiting to hear back about that large tender. The client come back to me with some more questions, which I've answered, because the first time they come and asked us for a quote, that was nearly 18 months ago. The national minimum wage has gone up since then. The market has shifted in terms of recruitment. I've also done a couple of site visits at these locations. So I've seen what it requires, what type of person it's going to need. They're probably going to need to drive. So all that factored in, there was a difference in the price, and he was just sort of questioning why it had jumped up as much as it had. But we've appeased them. And the problem with working with big companies is they are management and sign-off heavy. So it's very rarely that there's only one person that will get the final say. It will have to go through 3, 4, even more people sometimes just to get that sign-off piece. So we'll just keep waiting for that. I am still very confident with it. I know what's going to happen. It's happened to us before. It will be a case of we'll hear nothing, hear nothing, hear nothing. The client will call me and say, oh, congratulations, we've chose you as the contractor. We want you to start in the next 2 weeks. That's usually what happens in these scenarios. I don't think I will be able to deliver the project in that timescale, if I'm honest, and there's no point of trying to squeeze that into that timescale, because if you get a bad start for that reason, it only reflects badly on us. So we'll manage that as and when that comes in. We've still got lots of one-off stuff coming in. I had a large warehouse clean come in the other day, which was in Stevenage, a fire-damaged warehouse. Still debating whether we're gonna submit a price for that one. It's a little bit far out for our one-off teams. You've got to remember the guys have got to travel there, and then if you start to build in sort of cost for people staying over, you're not cost competitive. So that's something we'll have to go through with the operations team and just see how we go. The recruitment seems to be getting a little bit better, a little bit of an update on that. I know it's been a reoccurring theme on the channel and in our We Are JCD videos. We've just refreshed all our ads. Sandeep, our office manager, she's refreshed them all. She's gone on holiday for a couple of weeks, so she's not around. So it's reliant on me to do a little bit more admin, but I know she refreshed all the ads that we had out. We're also running some sponsored Facebook ads because we need to try and get these people in. So we've had some good responses to a couple of our jobs, mainly the full-time ones. It seems people are a bit reluctant to do that part-time role. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to be till the market corrects itself with that, but hopefully with the run-up coming, we've got Christmas coming up soon. I hate to mention that word so soon, but we've got Christmas coming up soon, so people want extra money for Christmas. So usually that is a helpful time. And once we get people in the business and working with us, we don't seem to have a problem with retention of people once they're with us. It's just getting people through the door. So we'll keep on with that challenge. So as I say, I am at JCD HQ for the rest of the day. I'm not going to bore you guys with my emails and admin that I've got to do, especially as Sandeep is off. So I've got to get involved in some invoicing. So that's going to wrap up Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going to be joined by Adam. We're out and about a little bit more. So I will catch you guys in the morning. Over and out. As I said yesterday, something always comes up. Can have a quiet week planned, but it never really materialises like that. So I was in the office day yesterday. It's now Wednesday morning, and I am over in Romford. So from having nothing on, I'm now over on the Essex border. I'm meeting a customer over here. We done a survey at a pub for a well-known pub brand for some cleaning, descaling and relining of some stacks that are in the pub. They keep having reoccurring backups and blockages, and it's leaked through the roof on a couple of occasions. But the customer's just got some questions. So a client called me yesterday and said, look, I know it's short notice, but can you come down and have a chat with us about the process and what goes on? So I've taken the hour and 15-minute journey over to Romford. I'm just going to meet the customer over here. We'll have a chat through what they want, and then I have got another couple of drainage jobs to do. We've got a tank to go and empty, so I'll head over and do that after. And then we've got a block sink to go and unblock for someone that called up yesterday. So I've put it all today. I've pushed Adam back till tomorrow. And then we'll have a catch up and do the bits and pieces we don't have then. So I've just arrived, just parked the car, had a coffee. I got here a bit early because the M25 is always unpredictable. So we'll head round and go inside and see if we can find our customer. Hello mate.
Hello.
Come for a meeting about this drain.
You available?
That's it.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So no, Reese is coming as well, I
Reece
think.
Mansfield.
That's it, yeah.
Fabulous. Because I had MT out, right? Because they...
Who's MC?
How far along are you with knowing what's going on?
So
this
we
site?
come, if you remember, we come
We've done the line
and survey. Yeah, and we gave her a
We
price
did an
for the lining.
analysis. What they call it?
No, we gave her a price for the lining,
Yeah.
but now I think there's some questions around it.
Yeah, and not necessarily questions. But there's two things that I heard. One, they want more. I forgot what the word is. Begins with S. You know when
Stacks,
No, not the
Go on.
stacks. No, I know that. You know when you do the plan, but it's all written out.
schematics.
Schematics. That's it. They want schematics. And the second thing is that they're concerned that this is the only way out. So if you thin down the lines as it is with more lining,
Yeah.
it's gonna.
I see the linings.
I need to show you
Let's,
the back as well.
yeah, all right. Should we wait for everyone or?
Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
if you want, but
'Cause I know Reece is
I didn't
Reece
know
is
Reece was coming today.
Yeah, he said he
actually,
was.
so-
I'm just waiting for the customer to get here, but just give you a bit of background on this job. What happens, they keep having constant leaks, which is just opposite me. Now the pipes, the toilets are upstairs, and there's 3 stacks that run downstairs, along the back wall over there, and then down this column here. And then you can see there's a bit of water damage, and that what happens when they have real heavy use or rainfall, it seems to back up. We have surveyed this. And there's a lot of scour in the line, so that will reduce the flow. But you can't see the condition of the pipes because there's so much scour on the wall. So customers got a few, simple queries that we should be able to answer. I've just spoken with the shift manager. She's got a bit of background on it, so I've had a chat with her. There's nothing that we can't appease. So I'll show you guys around, just waiting for the customer, and then we will have a chat through, and then hopefully we'll get this work approved and we can do a standalone video for what needs to be done. So we'll just wait for Reece to get here, and then we will get going and have a walk around and just explain the process. We have just finished with our customer at that particular Weatherspoons. We'll say we priced up to line the stack that's there. And lining is not inexpensive, but it's much less inexpensive than ripping ceilings down and then the making good, replacing pipes and things like that. So I still think it's the right option for these guys here, but they just want to make sure that it's sort of a total solution, which is fine and understandable. So good meeting. Customer that we were working with, I haven't actually met face to face. They've gave us a few bits of work here and there, but it's always good to meet people face to face, and I suppose this is the argument for networking. I've had a good chat with the customer here, Reece, and we spent half hour, 45 minutes together just chatting business, not even about this particular job. And that's how you develop relationships. So I'm going to send him an email a little bit more about some of the other stuff we do. and hopefully we'll be able to grow that relationship a bit more. So a productive use in the morning. Pleased to come up to see the guys and the manager at this particular store. We'll get some surveying done, and then we'll firm up all the questions that they've got, and hopefully we'll get this job done and we'll be able to film it as a standalone video. But anyway, I'm back in the car. I am now going to head back all the way over the Dartford crossing and go back down to HQ, pick up the drainage van, and we have got a couple of bits to do. We've got a tank to go and empty, which we'll do first, and then I have a block sink on the Isle of Sheppey, which is local to the office. So let's get going, back over the Dartford crossing and back down to HQ. We have just arrived at the tanker job over in Snodland. This particular job is a bit of a pain in the backside where it's on a real rural road. Someone was parked in this bay, so I've had to ask the gentleman to move his car, which he very nicely did. But that is the beauty of our Reacom tanker behind me, that it fits into nice small spaces. But unfortunately, they're just a pain in the backside to do. So we'll just get this cleared out now, get this tank emptied, and then we'll get on our way back over to Sheerness where we've got a block sink. So let's go. So that's working now. So we tell if it's full, that needle goes up. We have just arrived back down at JCD HQ, just a quick changeover with the vans. Jumped out the tanker, just going back in the normal van now. I'll show you guys our tanker. So here we have a Reacom tanker. It's a combi unit, it's called Reanid Jetvac. So what it is, it's much smaller than a traditional tanker. So it's quite good for getting into small spaces like the ones we've just been to. It's good for working in the city. I believe the capacity is around 4,000 litres, gallons, I can't remember which way around it is. But yeah, it's a real versatile piece of kit, and one I'm really proud to have in our fleet. We will get a full-size tanker at some point. It's just when the time's right for that. At the moment, we use another contractor as and when we need to do that. So yeah, great piece of kit, and one that's really handy to have in the arsenal. So I've jumped back in the van. It's around 3 o'clock now. I have just got to go to a local domestic job. The gentleman's called. He has got a blocked sink, so I'm going to run over there and do that. And then I've got to go and help some of our ops teams at JCD, just cover a few bits and pieces. So I'll jump over and do that after. Yeah, still seems to be picking up a little bit staffing wise, which is a plus, and nice to hear. I think I'm going to attribute that to, it's coming up to Christmas time. People like to have additional money in their pocket for Christmas. So that helps us, because as I mentioned before, once we actually get people in the business, it's relatively simple to keep them in the business. I like to think we're reasonable employers, we're good to work with, we're big on sort of managing and supporting our staff, giving them all the tools they need to do their job effectively. So once they're in, they tend to stay. It's just finding people to come in the door at the moment that seems to be the issue. But we've had some good CVs recently. We just refreshed our ads, we refreshed them on a weekly basis. So I'm going to jump back in the van, head over to do that tomorrow. I have had 2 drainage calls come in. One we've been to before, which was just a blockage of wipes, and I suspect this time will be no different, so that should be nice and easy. That's down in Canterbury. And another one, the local garage to Sittingbourne. So I'll jump out and do them early in the morning, and then the late afternoon I am meeting Adam because we've got to finish our ad and get that done. We've been talking about that for a while now and haven't managed to get it over the line yet just because of how we want to get it done. So we're going to jump back in the van now and we're going to head over to this sink and get this guy back flowing. So we have been over to the block sink. Unfortunately, didn't manage to film in there. So the customer greeted me at the door, and just sometimes it's just not appropriate just to get a go. Oh, sorry mate, 1 minute, I'm just going to get a camera out, just film everything we're doing. So a little bit of tact there. Really nice guy though. So we managed to clear the drain. Looks like something you clean maybe bottles with or something along those lines, but that would definitely stop your flow on a kitchen pipe. So at least half the diameter. So took about 45 minutes to do, so not that long, but we got there in the end with a happy customer. Hopefully they'll give us a recommendation. So it's around 4:30 now. Got here a little bit later than planned. I have now got to head over to one of our schools. I am running late. I probably won't get in till 7:30 tonight, and then we'll have to catch up on some emails. But yeah, so a productive day. A couple of drainage jobs in the morning, and then we are going to meet Adam at HQ to put some more social content down. So that's going to wrap up Wednesday, guys. I will see you in the morning. Good morning, gang. We are at Thursday. Yep. Bit of a hectic morning, to be honest. It's about 9 o'clock now. I am at my first drainage job. And turned out to be quite a busy week when it comes to drainage. It was meant to be relatively quiet, but sometimes that's how it goes. I've had a few bits and pieces to deal with this morning, emergencies, shall we say. But we've put them to bed. They're confidential, so we won't go into them on the channel. But a few issues this morning to deal with, nice and early. Good start to the day. So we're at this particular job. They're doing some building works here. They just want to trace where a toilet line goes. So what we're going to do, I'm just filling up a bucket behind me. We're going to put some dye down the drain line and we'll see where it comes out. So let's get this job going because I want to get this one done, and then I will have a catch up with you guys once I'm done. Toilet's in better days. Not in the best condition though. We are going to put a green dye down that toilet, and then what we're hoping is that the green will appear in one of these manholes and we can sort of see where it is. Yeah, that's the plan. So let's get a bucket and chuck it down that toilet. So we've put some tracing dye down the toilet. Don't seem to have appeared in any of these manholes. I mean, that one's at it. There's none in these two. There's another manhole over there. Might have to go lift that one. So we've had a look in this manhole. It's clearly a manhole because you see the steps in the bottom there, but no dye. So I think this might turn out to be a slightly bigger job. I'm going to get the guys to take the toilet off internally, and I'll camera down the stack line because it's disused, so it's no problem for them. I'll camera down that way, but all these drains are full. They're full of debris. The actual building doesn't look like it's been used for some time, so might just be the drains are, you know, they haven't been used for so long. They're full of debris and what have you. They're going to need a tanker down here, clean them out, and then we can assess the situation properly. But the guys are going to take the toilet off and we'll go and have a look and see what we can find with the camera. Right, come and have a look at this. Inside. You can have a look here. Like, if you go on, look, that's your drain line, but it's full, and it's full all the way. So, but it runs down, it kicks out, and it goes straight. So I think it goes to that manhole over there.
You can imagine 10, 15 years what's happened here. You know?
Yeah, of course. So, all right, let me go and grab the tank. I'll have to go and get a different van. So we have run over, grabbed the rear com, using that quite a bit this week. Shows you how versatile it is. We've come over now. That over the manhole that's over there, I reckon that's an interceptor, an oil interceptor, just by the size of it. We've got another manhole just next to me here. We sucked a little bit out, and as you can see, we have our dye. So what this tells me is we now know that toilet runs into this line. So what we're going to do now, we will suck some of this out. Like I say, I can see the green dye here now, so I know where it runs, and then we will we'll look to jet it. I can tell by sucking a little bit out already. There's lots of rubble at the bottom of it, so we'll take a bit out, and then we'll reassess the situation from there. So we've got to the bottom of this one. That manhole feeds the main building, and then they have a holding tank, septic tank, whatever you want to call it, that they're going to need emptying. This is not connected to the main sewer. So the guy's asked us to tanker some loads out, which we're doing for him. He's asked us for some other bits as well, which is always good. So we're going to take some loads out of this job, and then that will be it. That should give them a bit of a capacity when they put the toilets in, and then we are going to head down to Canterbury, where we have a blockage to deal with down there. So I'm just going to finish up here, and then we'll jump in the van and head down to Canterbury. Done that job, so that turned out a little bit longer than I would hope. This week really just hasn't turned out as planned. I mentioned at the start of the week that I had a quiet week. Just hasn't gone that way. I've had to bump Adam over to next week. I'm not going to be able to see him. We've got appointments tomorrow. I've got another job to go to then, and then I've got one of my team members that want to have a meeting with me later. So I say just the week hasn't planned out. It just shows as a business owner how versatile your days can be. I thought I had a week of relaxing. Said to you guys Tuesday that I had an easy week, and it's turned out quite the opposite. I'm going to have to pop back to that job I've just been to tomorrow. He wants some assistance with some civils work, so going to pop back there with our colleague Lewis, who sort of looks after all that from our business perspective. So we'll pop back there and have a look. So I've just swapped back over in the vans at HQ, and I am now going to head down to Canterbury to see if we can unblock this drain. I have been to this one before. It was wiped last time, and I suspect it will be the same again. But let's jump down and have a look.
And they keep ringing me while I'm on air, and they never ring back in the afternoon when I'm not on air.
We have just arrived down in Dover. We've been to this job before, so we know the lie of the land. It was this manhole last time, so we'll just take it up and see what the problem is.
Just wipes, feel them there. There you go.
We'll have to camera that line now because the tenant is not home by the looks of it, so we'll just chuck a camera up there to make sure that it is all clear. But as suspected, build up of wipes. So we'll let the managing agent know. Friday. Time is around, looking at the school clock, 6:30. Sorry if this audio is poor. It's just been one of those weeks. I was meant to have a quiet week this week and it's just turned out absolutely chaotic. Yesterday, Adam's told me that the audio from the last part of the job yesterday didn't record. To be honest with you, I looked at the thing and I thought there's something about that screen that's not right, but the volume was going up and down, so I just assumed it was recording. So the job yesterday that I finished at over in Dover, I was mentioning to you guys, which didn't record. We've been to that job a couple of times, and usually we let the tenants get away with the first time, because what happens is if it's something where the tenant has put something in the line, then naturally the managing agent will recharge them. So we sort of let it go the first time, but we've been to this one 2 or 3 times. That is the only line that goes to that drain. So the blockages that are coming from there couldn't possibly come from another house. So we've had to share that with the managing agent. The reason for that is they want to know why they have to keep paying us to go back. So we've told them that, and that was sort of the synopsis there. It was a relatively easy job, as you guys may have seen. Today I forgot to take the camera out with me, but I've just been out and about looking at a few jobs today. I looked at, or I spoke to one of our colleagues, Ian, from about a potential partnership that we'll be looking at for a new contract, which was quite exciting. But I just have to see how that one pans out over the next couple of weeks, but it sounds like an interesting project. We've also got a couple of bits and pieces going on with Ian, which is nice. It's nice now to start sort of collaborating and working collectively. So chased up a few quotes, etc. today, without too much joy in return. I say these things, sometimes people are just busy. You're not top of everyone's priority list, unfortunately, as much as we would like to be. I've had to come over and cover some sickness at school. This particular school we struggle with because it's relatively affluent area, and just finding people is ultra difficult in this area. Just takes time. So we'll get there with it eventually, but I say one of the ladies was sick here, so I've come over and cover that. We've got a few bits on next week, to be honest. A few big pieces, actually. Notably, I am meeting with my local MP to have a discussion with her about the lack of recognition that cleaning staff get. I get people commenting, and I always get people within, interestingly, I've noticed this week, I've come to a bit of a realisation. I try and put this content out so that our industry is at the front of a different generation.
the people that are at the top of our industry, they've been in the industry for many, many years. They've got wealth of knowledge, and rightly so. That's how things work. But these people are not going to be around forever, and we've got a new generation. Anyone that's in the industry knows the cleaning industry is at crisis level in terms of recruitment and getting people into the market. So why do I put out content like this? It's to get the cleaning industry and how diverse and fun and all the different places we get to go and all the different things we get to see and do. The people we get to meet is in front of a new audience. The people that are going to be the industry in 5-10 years time, when these people that are industry leaders have retired or moved on or enjoying their life or whatever people do when they finish work. It's interestingly, it's always them people that will comment negatively on posts. I've noticed that this week. These people, I've done a post this week about the real living wage. No industry leader, and I'll do that prominently, no industry leader said anything about that, or, oh, nice post, Chris, good to see you, pushing forward about staff, but they want to kick you about, X, Y, Z, or you didn't quite say this right, It's muggy, to be honest. I mean, I'm a different generation, and I am, what I am, and I say, it's just, I think it just shows people's true colours. I am trying to put the industry forward, hence why I have a meeting with our local MP to discuss, similar to what's going on with the All Parliamentary Group. It doesn't seem to be gaining any traction. They've had their meetings, but, we've had people from, Jim Melvin, who was kind enough to comment, to reply to my question on LinkedIn, what is the end goal of the All Parliamentary Group? Because I hadn't really seen that. So that was useful. And, I'm pushing in the same direction as everyone else. I'm trying to put content out, make it fun, enjoyable, because not everybody wants to talk about dilution rates and, what's the difference between disinfecting and deep cleaning, or, some people are not interested in that. They want to see fun, entertaining content, and I try and do a mix of everything to capture a new audience that the cleaning industry just isn't capturing at the moment. That's what we need to remember. So we'll continue plodding on with that. It gets me frustrated sometimes, as I say, you're trying to open it up to a new industry, new people, and sort of people want to have a dig at you, especially within the industry. I wouldn't mind it if someone else who said, "Oh, your content's crap, Chris," or "It's boring," but it's my own people who I'm trying to gain recognition for and support the cause, and exactly like they are. So. That's interesting. So we're meeting with our local MP and we're discussing all things cleaning, Sue Gray report, and I'll give you guys a little bit of an update. I did ask if I could film it, but the lady said no, which is understandable. I wasn't expecting that on the first one, but we'll take some pictures, etc. Of the meeting, so that one will be interesting. I've got a networking event that I go to with Alan Pickerel, who you guys would have seen us do the golf day for Demel's house. So I'm going to catch up with all the boys from that next week. I'm also going to be catching up with our good friend Jack Gaisford, which is always good, business owners. He's a little bit younger than me, but we're there or thereabouts in age. We could chuck some ideas around and just see what's going on with the world, put the world to rights. So I'm looking forward to that and having a catch up. I will see Adam next week. I didn't manage to catch up with him this week, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'll try and catch up with him early next so that we're not missing a dish in the dirt. We didn't manage to capture a clean sweep this week because the bottom line, guys, as I say, it's not all big warehouses, massive cleans every week. Sometimes it's just a run-of-the-mill daily cleaning. The guys are working on a big construction project for one of the owners of a construction company that we work for, and it's all been all hands to deck there. I mean, it's there's only so many times I can show you around a builder's clean, especially when they're under pressure. It's not fair for me to be then standing in the middle of a massive construction site filming, saying, "Oh, well, this is what the guys are doing." I'm very much still try and get hands on with that. But so we've got a few interesting bits next week, which I'm looking forward to showing you guys around and telling you how that meeting goes with an MP. No news on that big contract yet. Unfortunately, chased up that today. Seems to have gone a little bit quiet again, but as I say, I've got a sneaky suspicion that will come back round and it will be a very quick mobilisation. So yeah, interesting week, busier than we planned, a little bit all over the place, but I say I'm trying to document the journey and show you guys what it's like running two businesses day to day, and what the reality of that can be. So I might be doing it right, I might be doing it wrong, but who knows? All I know is I hope you enjoy coming along. As always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for me, and you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you on Monday.